Welcome to another edition of PENSDOWN. This is the program that puts journalists on the spot and tries to find out all that they go through in their line of duty, the challenging times and all the issues that happen behind the scenes that we don't get to read or hear alongside their main reports. This evening, I have a colleague with me. She works with the multimedia group as an online journalist. She has over 10 years experience in journalism, having worked in both radio and online. She holds a master's in international relations, a degree in history and information studies, and a diploma in communication studies. She's a product of the University of Ghana and Ghana Institute of Journalism. Joining me today is Adwoa Gyasiwaa Agyeman. You are welcome, Adwoa.
Thank you very much.
It's been ages. Happy New Year to you.
Oh, more blessings here.
Wonderful. So you've been doing journalism for 10 years and over.
Yes.
What has kept you moving all these? Wow. A number of your colleagues have already left. They are looking for quote unquote greener pastures elsewhere. Why are you still at the same place doing the same thing?
Well, it's just the passion for the work. Growing up and watching I did watch a lot of news on CNN. And I noticed that I could impact my community by taking up this career. So joining, money was not really my focus. Just impacting, educating the populace about what's happening and how to impact their lives positively was my main focus. That's what has kept me like.
You were watching CNN. That's interesting. Then I would want to find out, why didn't you end up as a TV newscaster or something? Or once you are in journalism, you are okay, whether TV, online, or whatever it is.
That's the question a lot of people have been asking me. But being in the field, like, I noticed that being on screen gives you a lot of pressure. And you could easily veer off. You could easily lose focus because of maybe a lot of compliments you get with the work you're doing and everything. So I decided to do the back office job, just do radio and do a lot of online. Just put my work out there for people to appreciate and not see the person behind it. Yeah, so that's just it.
Oh, I see.
I didn't want anything to distract my attention.
Then today the world is we are putting the face to the name, to the world through this platform. But let's look at your time with radio. Was it at multimedia, or where did you have that opportunity with radio?
My time with radio was with Happy FM.
Okay.
That was where I actually did my national service. Yes. It was very exciting because it was like my first real job, journalism job. Like, so I was doing a lot of productions, especially on political issues. That's where I actually developed my interest in politics.
Okay. So there, were you doing live reports? Were you an on-air person, or still you preferred the backbench, do it for the others to take the glory?
I periodically did reports on radio.
Okay.
I wasn't an on-air person, but I was an assistant producer for a popular political program that was World at 5 then.
That was hosted by Sena Atoklu.
Atoklu, yes.
All right. Okay. I see. Now, let's come to multimedia. You are an online journalist. That means for all the things we read on, is it My Joy Online and what other portals, you may be behind it. And Adom Online, you may be behind it. How long have you been doing this?
I started in 2009.
2009?
Yes.
Okay.
At that time, I was in school, but I decided to do internship whilst in school. because it still comes back to the passion for the job.
Yes,
I knew that I had limited time, but the very small time I got, I managed to get internship with my job online, just to sharpen my writing skills. I mean, the transition from radio to online, it's quite difficult because radio, you have to do a lot of audios, but online, you have to write more. So I wanted to sharpen my writing skills. So while in school, the University of Ghana, doing my first degree, I decided to do internship in my job online as well. So I was doing school and work.
I am not good at maths, but 2009 to today is 2019 is 10 years.
Yes.
So plus what, 2 or 3 years, that is about 11 or 12 years.
Yeah.
Typing and only. Which part of the computer key, the keyboard, which of them can you not spot while your eyes are closed now?
You know, with the work, and especially with multimedia, and especially at my job online, when there's breaking news, like you have just like 1 minute to finish the story and get it published. So you can just imagine the speed with which we used to type.
Wow.
You have to get it
done. Wow. So you've been doing this for more than 10 years consistently.
Yes.
Have you ever gotten bored or tired of this thing you are doing?
Sometimes you really get fatigued when, especially when you are doing political reporting, when you know that, oh, this person will come and say the same thing and the other person will come and say the same thing. You know, politicians. So you get really fatigued with their repetitions and all that. But again, it comes back to passion. You get reminded that you are there to serve the people. You are there to put out credible information. So you are motivated by that to still keep on going.
I see. When we started, you said your motivation was not really about the money. Now that is instructive. A lot of the people I have spoken to would tell me that journalism doesn't pay. But here is another colleague telling me that it was not really about the money, but the passion. I think maybe we have found the first billionaire in journalism in you. You have the money already, so you really don't care. So it is the passion that is spurring you on. That is fantastic. Yes. Has there been any day that you got up and realized that, could I have done something different? Is this profession what I really should have chosen? Can I look elsewhere? Am I not fed up with it? Have you gotten to such a crossroads before?
Yes, I have. And that's the main reason why doing my master's, I decided to do something different. I decided to do international relations.
Okay.
Yes, so that I can veer into the humanitarian sector. Yes, so it actually got to that point. But after I finished the course, everything changed again. So it's just that I've just added the knowledge I acquired to my work. So let's say typically this school in Africa, it's really helped me to understand the political dynamics.
Okay.
With which somebody will be motivated to overthrow somebody. So instead of me just leaving the profession to pursue a career in international relations, I'm rather using the knowledge I acquired for my profession.
Oh,
so
fantastic.
Yes, it's helped me to understand when there's an ECOWAS meeting and there's an AU meeting, even something about UN. I totally understand whatever is going on. Okay. It helps me in my writing and everything.
Now, my question that should have started this conversation: how and when did you realize that you wanted to be a journalist while growing up?
Oh, it's a very, very, very young age. It's a very young age. I used to tell my auntie, like she's the last one of my brothers, I used to tell them that. I used to tell her that this is the profession I wanted to do. So immediately after SS, they bought forms for me to go to UCC, to go to the University of Ghana. I was like, no, I'll go to GIG because that's what I wanted to do. From a very young age, I was motivated by how journalists actually impact society, actually inform people about what's about to happen or what to do. So I really was, that's what I wanted to be doing now. I wanted to be part of this group of people who are the fourth estate of the realm, it's referred to in Ghana. The fourth estate of the realm. A lot of people run to for help, information. So I decided to do it at a very young age.
Okay, so now you have done international relations. You have a better, you are able to do better analysis of what is happening across the globe, be it, let's say, politics and the economics of it, or sometimes the manipulations across and all that. Has it shifted your focus in terms of what you used to report on before you started the course, or it has only brought extra dimension to the areas you were reporting on?
It sometimes shifts my focus. I'm really a political reporter. But this thing, like, it really generated my interest in what's happening internationally.
Okay.
Yeah, so it shifted my focus a bit. But sometimes I lose track and then I come back.
In terms of the local politics and sometimes the Western maneuvers and some of the underhand dealings that go on, how is it able to help you to interpret the issues and understand it from a well-informed angle much better than the person who doesn't have your kind of background?
There are jargons and languages they use that if you are really you've not really acquired that knowledge, you will never understand what they are referring to. You would understand it as a layman.
Okay.
But they actually mean, if they really want to manipulate a nation, they will come in a nice way that even the president or any of them will realize that this is what they are coming to do. Yes, so I really grasp it from the beginning before it comes. And yeah.
You have seen a certain generation of reporters and journalists at Multimedia Group. Did you meet Komladomo at Multimedia?
No.
You didn't meet him?
No, I didn't meet him.
Yes, but I am sure you have met a certain generation that has left, some of them who were extremely good at what they did. And currently they still have a crop of journalists altogether who are also very good at what they do. At your entry, how did the presence of those people help to also make you a better person? Or because you're an online person, you just go and fold yourself in your corner and that's it?
Not necessarily. One thing about multimedia is you are shaped to do everything.
Okay.
You never know when you'll be called to do TV or radio, so you are shaped to do everything. So I tend to listen to them a lot.
Okay.
Because you have to read. When you listen to you know that this person is well read. And so you have to read a lot to be able to understand whatever they are saying.
Okay.
And so listening to them and reading a lot has really helped me acquire a lot of knowledge. And so when it comes to radio reporting and TV reporting and online as well.
What has been the most difficult assignment you've covered? You got back to the office and it was like you can't even remember or make head or tail of what was said. What do I even write?
Will I even recall?
There are some assignments that the language is so technical. You know, some of these experts and their big use of unfriendly words. So sometimes they mix it all up, and by the time you come, at the time you are leaving the venue, you're already confused. So you don't even know how to put things together to make sense to
Yes. When it comes to reading of the Bible, I'm not really a business reporter.
Okay.
So I don't really like it when it comes to reading of the budget, and you have to follow and report. Fiscal policy, and you have to go back and read to understand before you can interpret it for the layman to understand. So you really have to do a lot of work when the finance minister says. So budget, budget is something that I'm not really interested in reporting on.
So if you had the choice, you would take out the reading of the budget so that you don't get yourself into trouble.
At all.
Yeah, so I was asking, what was your most exciting assignment? The one that you came and you were able to produce 2, 3, 4 reports out of the same event you attended or you went to cover?
Yes, it was about breast cancer.
Okay.
At that time, this lady, Dr. Gyasiwaa, had returned from Canada also, and she's began her new campaign about breast cancer. She had launched her NGO, Breast Care International, and she started the national campaign. So I was assigned to that program. I went to was at the press center, and the number of information she churned out spoke about a lot of misconception about breast cancer not being an evil disease, breast cancer not being contagious, and all that. Like, and even showing proof of men having breast cancer they've been reported upon and all that. That was like mind-blowing at that time. So I came back with so much information. I did a lot of stories from that assignment.
Oh,
and I remember I got an audio and I sent it to Adwoa, my
okay.
Adwoa, yes.
Okay.
And they also did it. It was all over.
Okay.
That was like the first time somebody had broken down the issues about breast cancer in the country. So it was all over.
Okay. I see. You do online work. Now, smartphones are here. How many hours do you work in a day? And do you have working hours at all?
In journalism, there's nothing like working hours. Because you'll be called at any time to come and work. But here, we've been able to schedule in such a way that you will be able to rest at a point. So these days, I used to come just midday, like from 11, then I close around 10. But it's been rescheduled because I need to be on the morning show.
Okay.
Yes, so I come at 4 a.m. and close at 5. So just imagine, there's something like 8 hours working, and even at 5, when something comes up, you have to continue.
Has there been a time that some story you have to do has come to you, let's say at a time where you were in the house or something, so you had to process it on your phone or something, and then
it happens all the time. You are on your way going home, and the president will just drop a statement about sacking the minister. And like, really, I have to get down and go back to the office and do this story of, because you are on the shift. You are on the shift. Once you're on the shift, you are supposed to do it. No matter if I'm from 11 to 10. If after 10 something breaks, I'm on the shift, I have to do it. So you have to do it. And these days, I don't know whether it's deliberate. Government likes to release statements very late in the evening, and it really disturbs us a lot. So you have to carry your gadgets everywhere. You're working on the go. You have to work everywhere you are.
Now you seem to have very comfortably settled with the online journalism. How many more years do you want to do online journalism? How many more years?
I've not really thought of that, because right now it's very exciting with the introduction of social media gadgets.
Yeah.
Doing online journalism is very exciting because you would have the opportunity. At first, we used to write very long, but these days you have the opportunity to infuse in videos and audios. So it makes your writing very limited. Then the person reading will not be bored. when you read like three scripts, you have the opportunity to watch a video, or you have the opportunity to listen to what actually the person said, so that they don't come back to say, oh, I've been misquoted, or someone has done this to my story. So it's made our work very easy, and I mean incident free. Majority of the time, somebody will come back and say, this quote has been attributed to me, but it's not me. But once the audio or the video is there, it's verbatim. I mean, you can't deny that you said it.
Okay, so talking about that, doesn't mean that when you are going on assignments, you go with a cameraman, or you have a camera with which you capture what is going on?
We have a camera with which we capture what is going on. Like, we do everything.
You mean you yourself going to capture to report online? You hold the camera.
Once you have a smartphone, you have no excuse. You have to do it. You have to produce the video. You have to produce the audio and write. 3 in 1.
Was there some sort of training you were given on how to capture, which angles to capture, or just use your smartphone to capture and then you are good? I was asking, was there some training? Was there some training you were given on the use of smartphone? What do you capture? How do you capture it? Or just because you have a smartphone, go cover the story, but make sure you capture something?
Training. I think 2012 elections.
Okay.
Due to the nature of the elections, due to the number of staff we need, they have to train everybody so that wherever you are, you can be able to do anything. So we were trained about how to hold the camera, the angles, everything, so that we can be able to capture whatever is happening at a particular polling station. So it just run through. And periodically we are refreshed. We are giving refresher courses to help us. Yes. So that there are trainings.
During elections, do you sleep in the office or you go home?
We sleep in the office. We sleep in the office, and for me, I hardly sleep, so I stay awake till the next day.
You stay awake waiting for all the reshuffle in the breaking news. This person comes, that person comes.
But it never stops. It comes continuously. So the moment you doze off, when you wake up, you might miss something. So we stay awake to the next day.
You see, in the bid to meet the demands of speed and accuracy, there is also the ethics of objectivity, fairness, and balance. How are you able to, for instance, combine all these things and produce a story in 5 minutes for it to go live, or less?
It's been very difficult, but over the years, we've not had any issues with breaking news and getting it right. Yes.
I see.
So the keyword is having a very good source, a very, very good source, an authentic source that will not fail you. That says this is happening, and when you break it, you don't have any issue.
Yeah.
So that has been our backbone. That has been the secret with which we've kept on till now.
Yes. When did you leave Ghana Institute of Journalism? Which year?
I left 2007.
2007. 2017 is 10 years. So you've done about 15 years in journalism, am I right?
Yes.
So even my introduction that you've done over 10 years is even in moderation.
Yeah.
Okay, now let's look at this. If we have to take you back 17 years, will you still choose journalism?
Yes, I will still choose journalism. I'll still choose journalism over any profession.
Do you have any member of your family that's a journalist?
Nobody. It's me. Nobody. I'm the first.
So
no one has also expressed any interest in joining.
So you picked inspiration from television news and all those you were following while young, and you have run with it up until this time. Earlier on, I asked you how long you are going to go with online journalism, but now I want to find out how many more years are you going to go with journalism?
I think another 10 will be.
Another 10 years.
Yes.
That will be 25 years. 25 years doing the same thing.
Yes.
Okay, let's look at something. A lot of journalists are leaving, very trained, qualified journalists are leaving the fold into other areas. I'm sure you have colleagues that have abandoned the craft and have gone and all that. What are you hearing? What is occasioning this kind of trend?
Oh, majority of them is about money. It's about the low motivation. The majority of them, the first thing you ask them, oh, there's no money in the trade. I'm going to chase better money somewhere else.
Wow.
Yes.
Does journalism pay?
It doesn't pay. Journalism doesn't pay. It doesn't pay at all.
Should we also behave like teachers and assume that our reward is in heaven? I think that will be enough consolation so that then we'll work towards going to heaven rather than expecting to be compensated here. But your screen is frozen. Yeah, sorry, go ahead.
When you are, it is a reward here on earth. When you do a social story and you get the results you need and the people are excited, and that's for me is enough reward. Enough reward for the work is done.
Yeah.
For example, when there's an acute water situation in an area and you need to get water to them, the excitement with which they come at you and express their thanks and everything, it's enough for me to see that, oh, okay, I've actually impacted society. So I think we always get our rewards. We always get them. Yes.
What do you make of Solly? What's your position on Solly?
I support Solly. I don't think there's nothing wrong with it.
You support it. Fantastic.
I support it.
Give me your argument in favor. There's nothing wrong with it.
Oh, there's nothing wrong in saying thank you to somebody who invited to come and listen to whatever you have to say to the public.
But is there any point that Solly can become bribe? Is there any point?
Yes. A lot of points. A lot of times, people who actually know that what they are bringing to you is of low quality or is actually to do somebody bad. They would bait you with money first before they would even bring their story. And I always tell them, when your story is good, why give me money for your story? Like, really? If you think the product you are bringing is good, why bait me with money before you even come out with whatever you want to present to the public? So it really becomes difficult. I mean, majority of our colleagues fall for it, but majority of us too, really, there's no way we will be used as stooges for politicians or any other person.
Let me put you on the spot. Have you ever been given or been baited? Has there ever been an approach to get you to compromise any story you were doing for a reward?
Yes, a lot of times.
Don't mention names, but tell us what happened.
Oh, it's political. Primaries of these political parties.
Wow.
And yes, an opposing candidate would bait you and bring a story which is really damaging. The other party to be able to give him the edge over the candidate. Majority of the time, the story is false. But because they want to get an edge over that person, they want to bait you. Majority of the countless times. But once you get the story and you read it, you realize that no, this is not really coming from. So what I do actually is to reach out to the other party and ask. and find out, I'll be like, no, this story can't go because the other party has nothing to do with this. And they'll be like, yes, we know. Some of them actually say they know, but they want you to do it, and they're ready to pay. They say it blank as this.
Are you selling something? Well, they are ready to pay for what?
They are ready. They're ready to pay for you to damage somebody's reputation.
My goodness, politicians never cease to amaze. So just because of the search for power, they want to reduce your platform and also enjoy your own reputation while they move to win power.
Yes.
Wow. Has any of these things, has there been a time that a story you did or didn't want to do put you in some sort of danger?
Oh.
One lady told me that for her, the danger it represented was the initial insult people will insult her and all that, but not like a threat to her life or something like that. Have you also been insulted and, people have called you names or said things?
When, I don't know what happens to people when they are called for interviews and they speak. They finish speaking, and I think when you put out whatever they said, they realize, oh, they've goofed. And then you'll be at the receiving end. They will tell you that I said this, but that is not what I meant.
And you are supposed to be his PRO or what?
Exactly. I'm supposed to know what he was intending to say before he put out. Majority of the times, you get them calling you, asking you to pull the story down.
Really?
Whilst I have you on audio. But once your audio
is it that they even undermine the potency of the platform on which they were going to speak? Or something happened to them and they spoke the way they shouldn't have spoken?
It really happens to a lot of people. I don't know what really happens to them. They speak in such a way that I think they are always overwhelmed by the platform they are given. And so they really don't think before they speak. I have to put it bluntly. They don't think before they speak. After they see whatever they spoken put out, they become active.
Wow. What have you done as a story that has given you so much joy? I mean, a story you did whose impact made you feel so gratified that this one is impact, this one is result, and I'm a happy person.
I used to live at station where perennial water crisis.
Yeah.
And I think at that time they had started a desalination project, like to change salt water to water for us. And I think the construction had stalled, and we were having water crisis. So we put it out there. When I did the story, we put it out there. We did it on radio as well. And then it got the people, as usual. Once it's out there, you get them acting. And I think they were able to complete the project and we were able to get water. It wasn't that rapid, but it helped in us getting water. Like, let's say in a week, we get water 3 days. First that we never used to get water. We have to buy water from the tankers. I was really gratified by that because at least my story made them to work to ensure that we got water.
You see, I also spent my whole life in print journalism. And one advantage we enjoy as print journalists is that you are anonymous, more or less, at least in the society. You can move about anywhere and nobody knows what you do. How many people around you know what you do?
Very few people. Very, very few people. I hardly tell people what I do. Very few people know what I do.
There is some debate that has started on this platform on PENSDOWN. Do you believe or do you think that journalists in Ghana should be licensed? Should journalists be licensed?
Licensed. Yes. 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 I think we should be licensed. I mean, journalism is one profession that is very open. So I think we should be licensed. I think journalists should be licensed. The profession is such that anybody can just pick pen and paper and move about calling himself journalist. Once the person is fluent in the English language and gets the platform, starts talking, then refers to him or herself as a journalist. So, but once we are licensed, the profession will be streamlined. And we'll get, right now, majority of the public really don't respect us as we have to. Because you can't decipher from who is a professional and who is a charlatan. And that's a big issue. So I think if you are licensed and you go somewhere, they ask you and you can show proof. Because right now, what we are left with is our ID cards. And ID cards can be produced anywhere. Majority of the times when you go out, you see a lot of ID cards, people posing as journalists with ID cards. But once we are licensed, I think all these things will be worked out.
Wow. Wow. Now, you are saying you are looking at going for as far as the next 10 years until you lay down books. Are you, now you've done a lot of online, so you have extensive experience in it. Is there any plan yourself, maybe beyond the 10 years after you are off, for you to also start something online and become a mentor to a number of young people who might also be interested, so they also pick up from where you left?
Yes. I plan on starting my blog this year.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, I plan on starting my blog this year.
I see.
And putting a lot of information there.
Give me 3 benefits journalism has given you. 3 benefits.
Oh, it's giving us a lot of prestige. A lot of contacts. Contacts is very important.
Yeah.
A lot of and it gives me joy. Like I feel fulfilled. I feel fulfilled because of the profession I'm doing.
Would you want this 10 years you are talking about to be at the same place, or it is in God's hands?
Right now in Ghana, I don't know which organization, media organization is number one. I always want to be with the best.
Okay.
And so even if I'll move, it will be outside the country and not in Ghana.
Okay. I see. Maybe this is going to be my final question. Maybe. Is there any story you did that later upon sober reflection, you realize that no, I should have added a lot more meat to this story than I did? Or given the opportunity, I want to pull it down and do it all over?
Yes. And once again, it was a political story about Dr. Refugee.
Okay.
He had fallen out with the NPP at that time. And a lot of people were speaking, like, were speaking a lot of bad things about him. And this story I did, I think the person called him a hypocrite or something. I did that story, and today I'm like, really, I don't believe I did this story. How can someone insult somebody, then I'll put pen and paper to it and write? I don't believe I did that story. Because I remember my boss asking me if he were to be my father, would I have done that story? I felt really bad. I thought I was at that time a young journalist. I thought I'd gotten the news and I was just writing it. I was like, upon sober reflection, there's no way I would do that story. Against that made me mad. There's no way I would do that.
And is that story still online?
Yes, I think so. Yes.
Oh, they never pulled it down, or they never gave you an opportunity to edit it? What is the fastest time you have gotten a story published online? A minute,
2 minutes. 2 minutes.
2 minutes.
Yes, 2 minutes.
How many paragraphs did that story have?
One paragraph.
One paragraph. Was it a breaking news?
Yes, it was a breaking news.
Oh, I see.
One paragraph.
When you see a news story or a story you have written, published online, generate so much conversation online, especially on social media, how does that come to you?
I think the most recent one happened to me when NDC decided to go to court for the election petition. I had done the story about the General Secretary saying that any idiot can go to court. That was way back in, I think, 2012. Exactly. So when they decided to go, that story popped up and it had my name and everybody was sharing it. I was like, oh, I've even forgotten I did that story. I just forgotten I did that story and it's still going on. People were sending it to me and they were like, we didn't know you did that story. So that's how discreet I can be. I'll do a story. If my name weren't on that story, no one would know that I did it. Because the screenshots came with my name and everything. So everyone knew that it was me.
Oh, I see. These 10 years that you are looking at ahead of you, do you still want to do the same online journalism or you want to try something different?
Well, online journalism has evolved. We talked about the radio bits. There's so many tools infused in it this time. So I'll still stick to online, but not writing straight jacket stories.
Okay.
Infusing it with social media comments, videos, audios, making it very exciting for anybody who sits and read it. Yes.
I see. What is that one thing when you left Ghana Institute of Journalism and you came on, let's say, internship or national service? How did you find the transition from the lecture hall to the field?
It was very difficult because you realize that whatever was happening there is so different from whatever was happening on the table. When I got to the newsroom, I felt so empty. I felt like I had not learned anything. Like all we did was theory, understand the ethics and everything, but the real job on the ground, I had nothing. I knew nothing about it. So it was like starting from scratch, starting everything again.
Wow.
And from the beginning it was difficult, but once I had determined to do it, I decided to go on with it and do it.
Thank you very much. I didn't know you had a lot to share like this while I was preparing. I was wondering, I know her to be an online person. Beyond that, what are some of the key things? But I think now maybe in Ghana, if we have to talk about those who have mastered the craft of doing journalism online, your name should come within the first 5, if I'm not exaggerating, because you've been at it for so many years, over 10 years now. It's been exciting having you on PENSDOWN. Thank you very much for being with us. This has been PENSDOWN. Journalists talk about their journalism journeys here. We'll be back next time with another journalist still talking about journalism journey on PENSDOWN. Thank you for joining us. Goodbye.